been nervous on a first date? You get the butterflies going and you're trying to impress someone you're with, and one wrong move happens, and by the end of the night, you're filling out a restraining order in 3 different states. Pitching your music to sync reps can kind of be just like that, mostly. If you say or do the wrong thing, you kill most of your chances of landing a sync deal before they even press play on your song. So in this video, I'm gonna show you 3 common mistakes that people make and how to fix them using the sponsor of this video, ReelCrafter, in order to make a lasting impression. If you say or do the wrong thing, it could kill all of your chances of actually being considered for placement, which in turn could be potentially thousands of dollars. One of the first dates I went on with my wife before we were married, I tried to make sure that I was familiar with a few different interests that she had already given me hints about, whether that be her favorite color, her middle name, stuff like that, so that I would have a rapport or some type of familiarity and let her know like, hey, I was serious about getting to know her better. Sync reps need to know information about your track kind of the same way. Before they actually are able to listen to the song, they need to know what it's about if they actually need it. Like, what if you were on a date and all y'all could talk about was like the weather for 2.5 hours? Unless there's a tornado going on that is life-threatening at that very moment, it's probably gonna be mad boring and forgettable. If your metadata is trash and your music look mad generic, sync reps are normally just gonna take your music and toss it in the pile of 50-11 tracks that they already have, making your music lost in the shuffle and never getting heard on purpose ever again. It might come up in a random search, but again, your chances go down the drain. And in this day and age, branding is everything if you want to stand out, in my humble opinion. Music Soups really like when you actually have an artist brand that goes well with your music and it just looks really put together and packaged nicely. ReelCrafter actually allows us to do this by adding detailed metadata to our tracks so that they can find them really easily in their catalog, and it helps us to customize our reel presentation before we send it out. This ensures that each sync rep that we pitch it to can easily identify our music, make pitches more targeted towards what they need specifically, and you can make sure that your brand colors and style match the aura of your artist persona. And then when they see you on social media, be like, oh yeah, I remember them, they're pretty dope. But even with a great pitch, as far as with how you're sending out those emails, if your track quality is still not up to par, you could still miss the mark. One of the biggest icks for most people when showing up for a first date is probably if they rolled up with their breath stinking, they have really bad hair, and it looks like they stole clothes from a shanty in a bad part of town. It ruins the whole vibe. Similarly, low quality recordings can turn off a sync rep faster than you can say, it's not you, it's me. So sending demos and boo-boo recordings diminish the perceived value of your music, again, before they even hear it. If they look at it and it says MP3, might throw up a red flag. Another thing, not having any instrumental versions is kind of like not looking in the mirror before you go out. It looks very unprepared and like you just don't care. And if you're going for that vibe, I guarantee you 75% of the time, it's going to not work out the way you planned. Because if you don't care what you look like or sound like, why should anybody else? And as you can see with this reel here that I've made, to fix this, ReelCrafter allows us to have the ability to share high quality audio and video uploads, because a lot of directors and music supervisors are more visual people anyway. So if they can actually see your music in action, helping to build on a scene, you're probably a lot more likely to actually get the job. Plus, you can also include multiple versions of a track in a single reel, such as instrumental versions alongside the main track. You can also make like 60 and 90-second versions within the platform, which I think is really useful, and I haven't seen anyone else do. This ensures that your track has many different options to choose from, because sync reps, they love options. Let's just be honest. Quality and variety are extremely crucial in this business, but timing and how you follow up can also make or break your pitch, because it could really look nice, but they are easily pulled and distracted in different areas because they're normally working on multiple projects at once. So let's say you got home after the date and you actually want to see them again. What would you normally do? Would you text them back obsessively before they even reach back to their car? Would you wait a few days and ask them how they're doing, or assume that they'll develop the mutant ability of telepathy and then call you when you're thinking about it? Following up too soon or too late could send the wrong message, obviously. If you send out too many tracks, it could feel overwhelming, like no one's gonna have time to read or listen to all that. And sending the wrong ones just makes you look lazy. Poor timing or being overly aggressive with your follow-ups, we found in our private community, a lot of times where a lot of sync deals are made, doing the opposite will normally just annoy your sync reps that you're trying to reach out for, like anybody else. Overwhelming them with too many different options can dilute the impact of your best tracks. But honestly, all we really want when we're following up is just to know that they heard our stuff, right? Wouldn't it be cool if when you sent out that email, you get a notification to let you know what they're listening to and what they're kind of shying away from? Well, you can actually also do that with ReelCrafter's analytics, which is really intuitive, because it helps you see what they see and how they interact with your reels. So you can follow up appropriately based on their engagement. You can be like, hey, I noticed on a certain project, you are looking for more of this kind of music. Here's some other stuff that sounds like it. Now you're giving them even more options. Again, sync reps love options. ReelCrafter actually sent me a link so that you guys can try it out for free on the pro tier, just so you can kind of want to check it out and see how it works for you. You can also check out one of my reels for inspiration. Link in the description for that. By avoiding these kinds of mistakes, you're going to be ahead of most others that want to get in the sync, but don't realize that they've already shot themselves in the foot because they showed up to the date ugly. But what about the next date? How do you plan to make the experience as cool and as memorable as possible? And most importantly, where do you find the best prospects to reach out to? Where are all the supervisors hanging out? So in this video right here, we break down how to find the perfect match for your music for landing sync deals more often.